And 2 dogs are dead and 3 people sent to the hospital after a house fire on Peoria's south side. Firefighters were called to the house near the intersection of Millman and Webster Streets around 7:30 last night. According to the Peoria Fire Department, heavy flames on the front of the house were quickly burning up to the second floor. 3 people had escaped before crews arrived. 2 of them had burn injuries and the others suffered from smoke inhalation. All of them were taken to the hospital where they are expected to recover. A firefighter also sustained some minor injuries and was treated on the scene. Unfortunately, 2 dogs were found dead in a kennel at the back of the house. The house has been demolished and the cause of the fire is under investigation.